Welcome to the fascinating city of Amman, the capital of Jordan. My partner and I arrived in Jordan last night. It's both of our first times in the countries, and honestly, I've been wanting to come to this country for ages, so I'm so excited to finally be here. It's also my 32nd birthday today. This video is going to be all about my first impressions of Jordan and some of the best things to do in Amman. We've got a fun day planned today. We're going on a food tour around Amman, so I'm going to see just how much falafel I can eat on my birthday, and we'll probably find somewhere to go for a couple of drinks later on. We're staying at Nomad's Hotel, which is right in the city centre. It's a great deal. It's about 30 to 40 Jordanian dinar per night, and that includes breakfast, and it's also got this gorgeous rooftop. Ooh. This moves. Now, I don't know a huge amount about Amman. This is what I'm hoping to learn about in the next few days. But I do know that it is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. Just looking from this rooftop as well, like these, let me zoom you in. These are the Roman ruins, and then it's all in this valley. This is like the centre. My small luxury wherever I go in the world is to find an oat milk cappuccino. So usually I just type in oat milk coffee near me, and I usually find somewhere. So the one we found here is called Geisha Coffee. It's only a 5-minute walk from the hotel. Hello. Good, thank you. How are you? Good. Do you have oat milk? Yeah. Yeah? Can I have an oat milk cappuccino, please? Thank you. So we're just walking down Rainbow Street. Now this is like the shopping, dining. It gets its name from the Rainbow Theatre, which is on the street. But also, since it started to be called Rainbow Street, quite a lot of establishments put up these like rainbow lanterns and lamps that you can see there. So this is kind of the heart of all the action in Amman, and we're staying right by it. Very hipster. This is Bus Stop Burger and More. You can get street food here. Burgers, sandwiches, fries. Grilled halloumi sandwich, babe. We are going on a food tour imminently though, so don't think I'll have any right now. Now, alcohol is not that widespread in Jordan, but you can get it in some bars, hotels, and some off-licenses. But the funny thing about walking down Rainbow Street is we've been offered beer like 3 times. It's only just gone midday. Don't really know where I'm going. I'm lucky to be blessed with a Richard who has much more of an internal compass than I do. Oh, interesting. So this is a charity all about preserving artisanal heritage and providing sort of sustainable income to people in the countries they work in. It's a nice looking cafe, isn't it? And then this is the shop. After a little walk around, it was time to meet our food tour host, Omar.
My name is Omar. I was born to an Egyptian father and a Palestinian mother. My Palestinian family moved as refugees here to Jordan in 1948. And my Egyptian part, just Egyptians living in Egypt, all was good until they had to go, my father had to travel to Saudi Arabia for work. And then my mom and dad got married in Saudi Arabia, and I was born and raised in Jadal in Saudi Arabia. So I lived there for 17 years. I came to live here. Part by part, I started, I want to know everything about the city center. Then I want to know everything about Jabal Amman, the area we are now in. And here we are 5 years later. There's nothing that I enjoy more than doing the tours.
This was stop number 1 on our food tour. It's a little cafe called 1212, and had some chai here, but now I think we're off to try some food. Assalamu alaikum. We're getting a behind the scenes tour of the restaurant, and this is all great. And here.
Oh,
this way. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Mr. Abraham.
Hello, salam.
Hello.
Oh, nice.
From where?
England. England.
Yeah.
Shukran. That is a good gherkin.
Best gherkin I've had.
Salam alaikum. Oh, wow. Salam alaikum. For falafel? Hummus. Oh.
So all this is for the hummus. That's what we're here for.
It's hummus central in here.
First we have the falafel. Falafel is basically 2 main ingredients, which is chickpeas and parsley. and they're mixed with garlic, a bit of garlic, like a clove of garlic, olive oil, and whites of egg whites. And then they're all deep fried. There is this one which is musabbaha. Musabbaha is like an updated version of hummus. So hummus, basically in Arabic, is the word for chickpeas. The thing that changed is here, some people don't like the texture of the chickpeas itself, the hummus when it's grinded. Some people don't like it, they find it very like peanut buttery. So an alternative was to put a lot of olive oil and tahini sauce and the grains, the chickpeas themselves on top, mixed together. So it's like two forms of chickpeas mixed together. And then we have this, which is fool. Fool is a warm appetizer, unlike the others which are usually typically cold. It's fava beans, and then of course a lot of olive oil. The green sauce is lemon and a little bit of pepper. Nothing is too spicy, just like a little bit of spices. And here is the bread, so please.
Thank you.
Here's the fakat is basically this way, like
this
a
is what we
cone.
were trying to do last night, I think.
It's very simple. You just put one on one, but it's very important to close it from one side. So that the olive oil does
So it
not-
doesn't drip out.
Yeah, and olive oil stains. So just be careful of that, and then you just dig in whichever you want. For dinner, the Jordanian cuisine has one unique dish that's exclusively Jordanian, which is mansaf. Mansaf is rice with meat with a special kind of bread put on top of it, and a sauce called jamid. It's a yogurty, strong taste, salt and yogurt from special kind of salt and special kind of milk. This is the only thing that's unique only for Jordan, like exclusively a Jordanian dish, and it's one of the best dishes, in my opinion.
We're just walking along Kafan Street, and this is just a few blocks down from Rainbow Street. Omar brings a lot of his tourists here because it's not touristy at all, but there's great views, there's lots of history, and he knows a lot of the local people here as well, so it's like a slice of local life. And you can see we're sort of elevated above the city centre here. You just walk over to here and just the views are everywhere. And the river in Amman ran down in this valley until about the 50s and 60s. It got really polluted and kind of ultimately dried up. So nowadays there isn't a river, and they've redeveloped it a bit. They've put the Jordan Museum there and a few other points of interest as well.
The view from here, you see the older part of Amman. Here, up the mountain there is where the narrow river or the Sale I spoke about comes from, and it passed by all the way this way into the city centre, which is starting from here. So starting from this is kind of the gate of the city center. Any building between the two streets is where the river was. So this island of buildings in the middle was where the water flow was. So all of these buildings are new relatively, like from the 60s. The river passed by this way all the way into the end where the Roman theatre is. We'll pass close to where it went by. From Khirfan Street there are 16 stairs that takes you down to the river. Sadly, after the water was very polluted, and then the government had to dam all of it, the streets became less resourceful or important or of a significance. Because why would I go down? There's only a street now, there's no more water. And this reflected on the street itself. So if you look at the buildings on the street, majority of them are closed. Majority of the shops are closed, not because of it's a weekend or anything. There's simply nothing because it's not as populated as before or as famous as before. This is one of the stairs, the 16 stairs that I'm telling you about, that takes you down to the river. So if you look all the way down at the end of the stairs, it's where the water would pass.
Right, okay,
so people would live on the right and the left of the stairs.
Yeah.
This was of huge importance. Some of the stairs were turned into houses. The next three shops we're going into are all owned by Palestinian originally families who moved here and started their businesses. This one is for a friend of mine. He's a leatherman.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised there's no one in here. So his name is Ahmed Maghrabi. He's also a fellow architect. The name of the place is Jild, and Jild literally translates into leather.
We bring the leather from Palestine. We use cow hide, vegetable tanned cow hide. It's one of the best places to bring leather from. Like one thing, they used to to produce it from long time ago. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
So it's for our type of work, because we do handmade leather goods. It's the best that you can find around in the area,
cool.
Yeah.
Middle East. Yes.
Yeah, so this is your shop, so?
This is our shop. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
So you make all these by hand?
We do.
Yourself?
Yeah.
Or have you got?
Me and my
Doing that.
partner.
Makes it look very simple, you know? Like,
Oh, yeah.
But there's also the furniture.
Yeah, we do furniture as well.
Cool. This is leather.
This is better.
Yeah.
Yes. So I can tell you more about the collection or the design. It's called Window of Amman. It's inspired from the old architect of Amman. They used to use this type of bricks that you will find them in all the old buildings. So we use the pattern from the bricks, and when the light hits, it gives the same shadow when the sun hits the bricks. So yeah.
This is the pattern I'm talking about. So it's
Oh,
usually
yeah.
used in the hallways or the staircases of any building. You would have the system it's thick enough to give privacy, so that no one from outside can see who's inside. But at the same time, it would allow some level of light and ventilation into the place. So this is what they inspired them, and you would see these all over Amman. And,
Yeah. Going into a carpet shop. This one looks like.
So this
Oh,
is
nice.
A carpet shop called Isa Farrah. Isa Farrah, the grandfather, made this shop around 120 years ago, also from Palestine. But this carpet shop brings its products from all over the Arab world. So from Iraq, from Syria, from Palestine, from Egypt, from multiple places, and all of it is to kind of continue this tradition of these carpets. Some of them are for hanged on the walls, some of them are for tents, and others are for like carpet, like just for the floor. I'll show you the other shop in a second. So this place is called Citadel and Rainbow Street. It was established in 1998. 1999, I'm sorry. They specify the specialty is pots or pottery making of all kinds, and everything is handmade. So literally everything, the drawings on it are handmade. The making of the plates, the making of the pots, everything is handmade. There are multiple designs that would represent different things, but the things that they focus more on fruits, like the watermelon. I'm sure there will be watermelon inside somewhere. And the finjans. Finjans are what we use for the Arabic coffee. These ones. You want to have a handle to hold them with. This is for the Arabic coffee. We will try Arabic coffee eventually. And you will find a lot of Arabic calligraphy in their designs. So if you look behind me, above there is some of the different fonts of calligraphy of Arabic. So this is one known called Kufi. This is a more common one called Diwani. This is what you would see in a lot of the mosques. All of them are Arabic with different styles and different fonts that would represent. Zaha Hadid is considered one of the most iconic architects in the world. Not only in the Arabic world and the whole architecture field. As an architect, it's my duty to talk about this
Of course.
lady, because Zaha Hadid, as a human being, is exceptional. In general, in the architectural field, it's very rare to have women reach a very high level of success. She is a woman and an Arab. When you look at the history of architecture, it's very rare to find Arabs in general. Arab woman makes it much harder. And she came from Iraq. She came from an era where it was not very easy for women to reach education. She went to Lebanon to the American University and was rejected there, and then traveled all the way to Britain. I think she studied as I'm not sure. And then she grew up to be one of the greatest architects in history. She died in 2018, and after that, almost every Arab city would have a mural that would represent or symbolize the importance of Zaha Hadid. So yeah.
Getting slightly more hectic as we go down into the city. People do advise to not drive around Amman as a tourist. And I can see this is why.
We're going to go into the market.
Cool.
It's very important to have a market next to the souk, next to the mosque, because together the three of them act as a community. Because you come pray, you meet people, you go to the souk, you buy your goods every week, at least every Friday. Usually we call it souk al-Jum'ah, or the Friday market. But this one is called Souk Sukkar, which means the market of sugar, because it started from the sugar business and then it expanded to everything, spices, everything.
Hi. Hello.
What's up?
What's your
On
name?
the camera.
Sorry.
Mustafa from
Mustafa.
Chechnya, Russia.
Oh, are you? Wow.
Yeah.
I have relatives here. I have cousins. I have some relatives.
Adi.
Here. There are
Hello.
relatives,
Salam alaikum.
Is it like YouTube
Photo?
or
Yeah,
something?
YouTube.
There's multiple places that
Azra, which is to the east.
close to town. I suggest like you go to some clubs like wrestling clubs or there are multiple.
Okay. Yeah. So what's the best place to go to? Would it be Azra? The best city to go to or the best town?
So go
To
in
learn
Jordan.
about
Like I suggest Suwaila because most of Azra they moved.
So next to the mosque there is usually a market, and luckily it is open today. There are some renovations going on, so it's not always open at the moment apparently, but we're in luck.
The olives are an essential part of our culture because olives don't grow for the whole year. They just they're in season for around 2 to 3 months, depending on the rain of the year prior to cultivating it. But olives mark a very important one. So there is the green olives and the black olives. The green ones are not the fully ripe ones. So if you take off the olives before they're fully ripe, they are harder to pickle. So what you have to do is break them open for the water and salt to marinate it completely. So if you look at any of the green kinds, you'll always find a crack opening on any of them.
Okay.
Unlike the black ones. So the black ones might not. You would like to taste? There you go.
Olive trivia.
Yes. But there are two other things that I like to mention beside the olives. First is the cauliflowers. They're pickled with beetroots, so that's why they have this pinkish neon magenta color. And then you have my favorite, which is the eggplants. So the eggplants, it's mini aubergines that are pickled with, you remove what's inside them, and you stuff them with walnuts and this spicy sauce. It's pepper and lemon and olive oil. These are my favorite. They are peanuts, but they're coated with, there's two different ones. The orange ones are like similar to a paprika, and the yellowish one are sweet corn. So they're very sweet.
Oh, okay,
If you
cool.
would like to try. There are all kinds of spices. The most common ones are the za'atar, which is thyme. There's different kinds of za'atar. Firstly, we have this is the Palestinian one. So the Palestinian one is not fully grinded and it has more sesame seeds and sumac. This is the Jordanian kind. So the Jordanian kind would have less sumac and more sesame seeds and will be fully grinded. So this is the same as it, but with more sesame seeds. And finally, there is the Syrian kind. The Syrian one is not completely za'atar or thyme, fully roasted. The last 10 to 15 years, we started growing the sugarcane in the Jordan Valley and started growing it. So the result of this is because of how not very fortunate when it comes to water resources Jordan is. The sugarcane is dry. If you look at it, it's extremely dry. Like you cannot chew on it. There is no possibility of. It's basically like prick. So it's only good for juice. But the best thing about this is that the sweetness of it is much more tolerable than the one with. Like if you get it from like a coastal area, it will be very, very extremely sweet.
Okay,
This
yeah,
one is more balanced when it comes to this.
Shukran.
Don't forget to read the.
Oh wow, okay. Okay, so there are many benefits of sugarcane. General weakness. Does it help general weakness, I presume?
You have any issue?
Lowers cholesterol. Oh, nice. Prevents joint pain. Prevents nervousness. Cleans the kidneys and chest. Provides body with energy. Nice. There we go. Better have some then. We're back in Hashem now, which is where we came last night. Oh wow. It goes way back.
So, I'm trying to make it try different things than what we tried earlier. So here we have two different versions of how hummus is being prepared. First we have this, which is called Qudsiyya. Qudsiyya means the meal of Jerusalem. And this is how the people of Jerusalem would do the chickpeas or the hummus. So what they would do is they put the fava beans with the chickpeas. So it has more of a color of the chickpea, but it's a bit brownish or darker. And it will taste more like fava beans than chickpeas. There's a mixture of both. And then we have this, which is my favorite. It is mutabbal. And mutabbal is eggplants, smoked eggplants. So like the huge, humongous ones being smoked. And then they would eat the skin off, and they would add tahini and some chickpeas to it, and blend it all together. This is another meal that has a similar story with the Arab Christians in history not eating meat while they're fasting, like the Coptic, but this one is from Syria, from the Syrian kingdom. They would eat a replica of smoked food because they want something that's smoky but not meat. So they made this dish. And then finally we have the falafel, stuffed falafel with caramelized onions.
What's the story behind this restaurant? Because every single tourist seems to come here and to know it.
Hashem was established in 1911 in Palestine. And then it expanded here to Jordan, and it became very important here in Jordan because of how humble and simple the starting or the beginning of it is, and then how it spread. So Hashem started from a small, like similar to like a small caravan on that corner there, and then it expanded into the other side, and then this part, and then they closed the alleyway at the end, making all of it Hashem. And then up the stairs from here takes you also to Hashem. There is the hall here, and there is another floor above this. It kept expanding, so the locals and the expats or the foreigners really enjoyed the place until it reached a level of becoming one of like the flags of Amman. Anyone who wants to come to the country would just simply come to Hashem.
Hi, friend.
Shukran, thank you so much. The name of this place is Astrolabe, and Astrolabe is a tool, the first tool that we have to act like a compass. It was the first time that we had a compass. The knowledge or the science of astronomy or astrology was invented by the Greeks, but it was reinvented and translated by the Arabs. Started by the Qibla, which is the navigation towards Mecca for us to pray, and then Arabs started realizing and naming the stars and recognizing patterns of the stars. So that's why astrology is an important part of our history. Astrolabe is one of many inventions that the Arabs not necessarily only invented, but in many cases developed. Almost any invention that you can think of, almost all of them that start with an A or an AL or an AS comes from Arabic, because it's L in Arabic, like similar to the L in Spanish, like L something. L in Arabic means the. So Al-Astrolab, the astrolabe. And then there is Al-Jabr, algorithms, alkaline and acid. All these words are not it's not a chance that all of them start with A. There is a deeper meaning. This is the Arabic coffee. So Arabic coffee is slightly different than Turkish coffee, or the typical kinds of coffee that we have. The biggest difference is in the way it's being prepared. So the Arabic coffee is made of non-roasted coffee beans. So that's why it has this golden brownish color. There you go. Don't drink it in huge quantities because of the amount of caffeine in it. So that's why we drink it in small ones.
We asked Omar to explain how the tourism industry in Jordan had struggled in the last year and a half. He's got some important messages here, so please listen.
So, since the beginning of the war, since October the 7th, it really affected how tourism here in Jordan changed. It shifted completely to another country, I could say. More than 90% of the tourists canceled their flights here. Sadly, the mainstream media did not help in recovering from this. There is a huge misconception or a huge issue or a misled message that spreads faster. Like the Middle East is not safe. And this is not fair. There's years of an ideology that has been growing for a while where the Middle East. And we're talking about a land that's massive. We're talking, when we say usually the Middle East, we're talking from Iraq all the way into Morocco. Like the Middle East is not safe, or the Arab lands are not safe.
And it's very unfortunate because Jordan, as an example, has the majority of the Palestinians who moved as refugees out of Palestine through the years. So by not coming here, by coming here, the support that happens to the infrastructure or the income of the country directly helps the Palestinians inside Palestine. Anyone who is living in Palestine has families in Jordan. Anyone in Jordan has some roots or family members back in Palestine. Sadly, there has been attempts to continue this ideology or idea of, oh no, you cannot go to the Middle East, or people come with their parents or their families, or like, are you sure it's safe? Are you sure it's safe? While I would argue, we spoke about it earlier, that Jordan or Amman is safer than the majority of the capital cities that are being advertised as very safe. Spoke about London or Berlin or Paris. I would argue that it's safer here than any of these cities. On my tours, for example, I would do up to 3 tours a day. Now, if I'm lucky, I have 5 tours a month. So it's really 5-6 tours a month. And before the war, we would have groups and universities and institutes coming and doing like larger tours of 10, 20, 30 people. But now, if I'm lucky, I have 4 people. And this does like this domino effect to everything, because tourism is one of the main sources of income of Jordan. So when there's no tourists, there is nothing. There's nothing that's working, because the tourist comes, they have to go to an hotel and they have to use transportation, and they'll have to eat at a restaurant, and they will buy gifts, and they will go, like they would visit places. So when you remove this with around 90% at the beginning of the war, you lose an income of a lot of people. So the taxi drivers being affected, the restaurants are being affected. I'm just a small scale of it, like I'm a particle in it, but imagine how many tour guides who used to do tours every day now barely do any tours. How many hotels had to fire people because there is no work? How many restaurants were affected? And the problem is, it's for a wrong reason. It's not for something that's actually happening,
And even our government has the advisories for countries,
yes.
and Jordan's is green. It's always been green the last however many years.
Yeah.
But even though it's still a green country, even though the official recommendation is safe to travel, it's still
not enough for people to be convinced. Right now we're in a place called Jadal. Jadal is a cultural center that is 13 years old. It used to be a house 13 years ago. The families that were living here left, and Fadi, the owner of this place, decided to turn it into a cultural center. So it consists of multiple rooms, each has its own story. One of them is called Ibda', which means creativity. There was books and musical instruments that were donated by the Friends of Jadal to the place, and anyone now can just get in. They're not for sale. You can just read the books, you can use the musical instruments, you can write something if you feel inspired, you can sing, you can use the music, you can do whatever you want. It's just for the community. There is no charge on it at all. Another room on the other side from the second building is called gallery, or it's an art gallery. They would have different exhibitions. Below us, we have a second-hand bookshop. Books that also were donated to the place. They sell for 2 dinars per book. And then we have the space in the hallway and this space, which is a coffee shop, offering some drinks. Some of the things that are offered on their menu are coming from their sustainable garden. Take us to the last part, which is the sustainable garden. It was a project for a Belgian student, a very difficult project to achieve, which is to have a sustainable garden that would be suitable for the intense heat of intense weather, whether it's hot or cold in Jordan. Now they're giving it out to any refugee camp or anyone who's in need. They teach people how to construct the garden, or the lighthouse, or the sustainable garden, and they teach the refugees on how to take care of the crops, how to grow it. So they give like a full-on course for free, just to help back the community. So that's why it's my favorite place in Jordan. I teach Arabic here. I give an Arabic course. There is a language exchange that we do every week. They have Dabka course, which is the traditional dance of Jordan and Palestine. So I wish there are 10 or 20 or 30 places like this in Amman, and more places similar to this all over the world.
And we've got hibiscus juice here. Like the ones in Mexico. We're just finishing up on our tour with Omar now, and do you want to just mention your company again?
Hi everyone, I hope you enjoy the video and I hope you actually, this encourages you to come and visit us here in Jordan or in the Arab world, in the Middle East.
Omar's tour really is fantastic. It's a must-do in Amman. So it's 3J
Expedition.
3J Expeditions, and so it's the best way to book it, to contact you through Instagram.
Yeah. Or from our website also, 3J Expeditions.
Okay.
With an S at the end. And yeah, it's actually cheaper to book from the website or Instagram than Airbnb or
book
the
direct.
others.
Yeah.
Booking directly is better for everyone, better for us and better for you. So yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll put all the details in the description, but yeah, definitely a must do in Amman. Rich's souvenir of choice in every country that we go to is a football shirt. We found a sports shop here that also stocks Jordanian football shirts for 8 dinar. Good morning. So we're exploring a bit more of Amman today. We're going to head to, I think, to the Jordanian Museum and to some Roman ruins. But because we've got quite a few attractions we want to see today, we are right now just heading to get a takeaway, which we're going to have for lunch. So we're just walking up this street here, which is meant to lead to Rainbow Street. And I have heard that there is somewhere that does very good falafel. 2 falafel sandwich. Thank you. Here it is, Falafel Al Quds, and this seems a very popular place. Been recommended to us by the SIM card man at the airport and the guy who works at our hotel. So Rich has got them already. And how much was that for 2 falafel wraps? 120. About £1.50, yeah? We're going to save them for lunch later. We've got a liquor store here. I was actually expecting the liquor stores in Jordan to be quite hidden. Like a lot of Middle Eastern countries I've been to before, you can't really, you have to like go underground and everything's kind of hidden away. But actually, kind of the off-licence are just visible on the street. So it is more relaxed in those terms than I was thinking, although I'm not sure what it'll be like outside of the capital. So there's all sorts here. Beers, wine, spirits. Grey Goose. Fancy a bottle of Grey Goose. We're talking about 31 Jordanian for a bottle of Captain Morgan's. This vodka is only 10 Jordanian. Base vodka. This is the wine of Jordan, which we are going to try some of that later. And the Citadel del Diablo, 22 Jordanian, which is about £25. So we are currently walking to the Jordanian Museum, but we've got to basically get into the valley to do so. So we've got to walk down all these steps and then just keep walking down basically. I did fall earlier. I was going up steps, not down, but I did quite spectacularly fall right on my knee. So I do want to be a bit careful now. I think I'll put the camera away. We've got to cross this road. That's the museum. This looks intimidating. The only thing in Amman that's made me feel in any way concerned is this road crossing. Actually, the traffic in general is quite chill, but we just can't quite work out how to cross this road. Made it halfway. All right, we're nearly there. Yay, safety. Honestly, everything else in Amman, I feel so safe. Like, the people are super friendly. Everyone's really welcoming, even walking around. Videoing, I feel super safe. But that road was a bit scary. But we made it onto this side, and I think this building here, just here, is the Jordanian Museum. Look what it is. Obviously, I was going to find a train. I am going to be doing a full video about this railway. It's one of the reasons why I'm in Jordan. But this is the Hejaz Railway, which used to connect Syria to Saudi Arabia. And obviously it went all through Jordan. It was short-lived, but it would have been very convenient. And imagine these days being able to take a train from Syria to Saudi. Anyway, I'm going to talk about all of this in an upcoming video. So if you're interested in watching that, make sure you're subscribed. And if you've been watching my videos for a while and you're not subscribed yet, it is completely free. It helps the channel out a lot, and it means that you can stay updated on all of the videos.
The main reason why the Jordan Museum is so significant is because it is home to the Dead Sea Scrolls. They are the only known original copies of biblical documents made before AD 100. So they are in this room here. You aren't allowed to take any photos or video in the room. You've got to come here and see them for yourselves. But they are pretty remarkable. The other main thing to see in this museum are these mysterious two-headed statues, which are among the oldest statues in the world. It's thought that they date back to 7,500 BC. That is wildly old, but no one knows the actual meaning behind them. Why is it a person with two heads? Dunno. Put your best guess in the comments.
That was an interesting little museum. We've just come out and the call to prayer is on, and we've ordered an Uber to take us to our next destination. The steps are getting a little bit too much. We have arrived at the Citadel. I'm going to sit down and eat my falafel wrap and research a little bit of the history. I almost forgot to record this because I'm so hungry, but I nearly finished my falafel sandwich that we got from Al Quds earlier. It is pretty tasty. I think when it's cooked fresh, I'm sure it's tastier, but it's a damn sight better than any falafel sandwich you can get in the UK, that's for sure.
The Amman Citadel is one of the oldest populated areas in the world. It has had periods of abandonment, but it is generally thought that at least a couple of people lived here even during those periods. So it is generally accepted that it is one of the oldest continuously inhabited places in the world. We could actually see this from the hotel rooftop. It's massive. You can also see how vast the city is. And down there you've got the Roman theatre as well. It's just history just coming alive. Very whistle-stop history lesson. So there have been remains here found from the Neolithic period, which is 10,000 BC to 2000 BC. But it was fortified during the Bronze Age, which is around 1800 BC. In 1200 BC, thereabouts, it became the capital of the Kingdom of Ammon, which is kind of where its prestige started. And it has been host to a range of different groups and has relics from absolute patchwork of these eras. So let me list them. I'm not going to remember them all. I've got them written down here. The Neo-Assyrian Empire, the Neo-Babylonian Empire, the Ptolemies, the Seleucids, I've not said that right, Romans, Byzantines, and the Umayyads. And then after the Umayyads, which were around in the 7th century AD, then the citadel's use started to decline a little until around the 19th century. It is thought that it was used by Bedouins and farmers as and when. And then in the 19th century, it was when it first started to be excavated and when people first found these ruins. So let's go and have a look at some of them. This is the archway that we could see from our hotel. I feel like it's Roman. I don't know that for definite. This archway,
Hello, Claire's footsteps.
It's Roman, isn't it?
I believe so. I believe it's part of the Temple of Hercules.
Okay.
Or it's a triumphal arch built by the Romans at some point in the Roman era.
Okay, cool.
Because this used to be a Roman city.
Yeah.
There'd be an Umayyad palace up here, which was one of the first Islamic caliphates that ruled
all right.
the region.
Let's go.
Actually, they ruled from here all the way to China.
Yeah.
And then all the way west to Spain.
Yeah.
So it's one of the biggest empires in history.
You should get a job as a tour guide.
Probably all wrong. This is like a residential area, I think.
Okay.
On top of probably for quite, I don't know, wealthy people.
Yeah. Dating back to when?
Well, I think it was the Umayyads, so that would be the 7th century, 8th century, maybe.
So you can walk through these old dwellings, and then if I turn the camera around, you can see Amman's modern city with all these skyscrapers. So it's like ultimate old and new. It's a massive flag there. I wonder how big it actually is. Rich just told me that this is the 12th biggest flagpole in the world. Apparently there's a British company that makes large flagpoles and it has made all of the largest flagpoles in the world. This is such a fascinating place and there's no one here. I mean, it's quiet time for Jordanian tourism anyway, but if this was in Italy, it would be heaving. Walk this way. So the Roman Theatre again is right in the heart of Amman. You can get a good view of it just from here, so it's well worth coming down here, even if you don't want to go in. There is a little ticket booth over there. But I'm guessing it's free on the Jordan Pass?
Hello. The Jordan Pass?
Okay, shukran. Yes, they did accept the Jordan Pass. This was the Roman Theatre, built in the 2nd century during the reign of Emperor Antonius Pius, seating capacity of 6,000 viewers. The Folklore Museum seems to be attached to the Roman Theatre. Stopped for a juice at this juice bar. It was 2 dinars for a pomegranate juice, which is about £2.25, but it's freshly made, so it should be good. Yes, please. It was gorgeous and sunny this morning, and now it's windy and raining a little bit. Ooh. But we have arrived at the JR Wine Experience. This is the first wine tasting room in Jordan.
Blend wine, Chardonnay and Albariño.
You say whether you want 2 white or 2 red. So I've gone for 2 white and 1 red. And then you get this little mat or paper where you can write down what you've had, your rating, any comments. And Rich has 2 red and 1 white. So we have all different ones, don't we? Chardonnay. And this is 2023 vintage. Jadal. Tastes very Chardonnay. I do usually like a Riesling, so high hopes for this. That's good. That's good. One more palate cleanser and we'll try the red. Yeah. Full-bodied, I believe they say. Us sommeliers. We keep getting fed wine. We've just been sitting here. We had our 3 included wines, and now we got given one of these, which is a bottle of rosé bubbly, and then we also got given this as well, which is a limited edition Shiraz, which won a prize at the English Wine Awards. So I'll give it a go now. That is nice. Yeah, it won silver at the London Wine Awards. We've come to the more modern side of Amman now. So this is the Al Adibi, I believe it's called, shopping mall. And yeah, it's just a lot more modern here. You've got a lot of chain stores. We just bought a Cinnabon just because we don't have them in the UK and they are very unhealthy, but also I do quite like them. And it was my birthday yesterday, so I'm having a birthday Cinnabon. But there's also like all your chain stores. I think I'm on the look for Matalan because I didn't bring a swimsuit to Jordan and we're going to the Dead Sea. So yeah, we'll just have a little walk around, try and find a shop, try and find a swimsuit. We finished the night with some birthday cocktails in a rooftop bar. And the next day we went on an adventure to find the old Hejaz railway station. This is all going to be in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. Then we headed back into the city to go to one more Amman attraction. I love the irony of all these signs to the sign museum. There's another one here. This is the 7th sign I've seen within like 10 metres. There's one there. There you go. Another sign. And I guess we go in here. Let's have a look. There's even signs out on the balcony here. Obviously, being a non-Arabic speaker, I can't understand them all, but some are in English as well. Oh, hi there. I'm just in a taxi to the Amman Tiny Museum. Where are you going? And that is a wrap on our time in Amman. It's been a lovely few days in the city. Thank you so much for watching this video. There are going to be so many Jordan videos to come because we're taking a 10-day road trip around the country's highlights. So if you're interested in watching those, make sure you're subscribed. And if you're sticking around, I recommend checking out this video. Thank you so much, and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye!